And in my experience, giving speeches, doing all sorts of things, I always say vulnerability is strength, right?
100%.
I've never met anybody. I'm very vulnerable and open about my stuff. Less so now because I'm less crazy, but still.
I should be so strong. I should be the
so strong.
strongest human
Yeah.
on this
Yeah.
earth. All I
She's
do
so
is
vulnerable.
cry to people all day long.
That's okay. Well, that can be a form of narcissism as well. If you're making everybody else's problems all your problems all the time. But the key is just I think just being
Never.
open. Never.
No,
Never.
I literally am not a narcissist. People need to know that.
I believe you.
That are
I
listening.
believe you.
She's not even close to it yet.
Angie and I have a joke. She has a former friend who would talk about how she was an empath all the time, but she wasn't an empath. She was a narcissist, which most people who, by the way, this pisses off people sometimes. The vast majority of people who call themselves empaths are actually just fucking narcissists, right?
You know what? I have a theory. Anybody who gives themselves their own labels is a narcissist.
Generally
you know
speaking.
I'm super sweet to people.
Yeah.
No, I don't know that. I've never seen you be super sweet to anybody. Why would I? It's every person that I know that talks that way, I'm like, all you do is talk about yourself.
And Marnie, what about people that say, I don't do drama? I'm like, yeah, the most dramatic people I've ever met in my entire
100%.
life are ones who don't do drama.
It's true.
Do you guys know how badly you're bringing out my inner Larry David right now? And I'm trying so hard to not be a balding Jew.
We love Larry David. Yeah.
He just said he would watch Curb Your Enthusiasm with his wife.
It was on downstairs 10 minutes ago. It was on downstairs while she's having her coffee downstairs.
That's why I thought I'd have a chance, because I'm a Larry David girl with just a head.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There you go. It's great. I forget. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk about emotions on the front end, because these are wonderful things for having conversations on the back end. And I love how you're explaining that emotions are just so magical for men, right?
Yeah.
But they weren't taught to have these emotions. So
especially older guys older than me in particular, guys in their 50s and above. I have a lot of male friends in their 50s and above. I go on business trips. I end up counseling these guys sometimes. And usually I tell them, no, don't date the 23-year-old. What the fuck are you doing?
Yes.
No wonder you're miserable.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, they're particularly, the older guys particularly, are just so closed off and taught to never.
So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I want to teach guys. I don't know if this is something that you're able to do or open to doing, but what are the basic rules and principles for being emotive in conversation? Like when I say the basics, I'm talking about how I say that most men talk in data points, right? They exchange information.
Yeah.
I like sports. I like dogs. Oh, let's go hunting. It's very, and I'm not trying to say that men are dumb at all.
No, it's a different wiring and a different way of looking at things.
It's different wiring, right?
And a lot of guys are on the spectrum as well, which you well know.
Yes.
Especially guys who are looking for dating help. A lot of those guys are on the spectrum and they
100%.
don't know how to pick up. They're simply not capable of picking up social cues, nonverbal cues, things like that. And it can be a real
But how
problem.
can they give themselves their own cues? Like, for example, how can they start to talk more emotionally so that they can get emotion from the other people that they're talking to?
You talk about you go first. You go first is the way you do it. That's the way I've always done it. People that know me.
Which means what?
So people that know me tell me I don't do small talk very well, and it's true, right? I'll meet somebody and I'll be talking about the depths of their whatever 5 minutes into
5 minutes,
it. Yeah, and that's largely because I'm very open about my own emotions and my own stuff. I'll mention my dad died when I was 19. I'll mention, I was really sick with Lyme disease for 5 or 6 years and had that. And just talk about how I felt about it the entire time, right? The feelings that, the words I use the most in copywriting for women particularly is imagine and feel. Right? Imagine what it's going to feel. Imagine what it's going to feel like when you finally have that guy you've had your eye on and your heart set on for the last 20 years